Ladies and gentlemen, Kei Kim here. Welcome to the Daily Update. Hope you guys had a good day trading today. Market is down 0.12% there. On the S&P Nasdaq is pretty much green, same with the semiconductor, and those guys are pretty much flat, but they are green nonetheless. Dow is down along with the Russell 2000. Transport got hit today, 1.6% negative, and it looks like transport is the weakest link today on today's price action. There, banks down a little bit along with the energy. Look at here, biotech and healthcare. It's up 1% today, right? We got home builders down a little bit along the utilities. Retail's also down 1.65%. Emerging market is flat there. Bitcoin down. Gold, silver miners are green today along with the dollar. Oil down. Treasury bond slightly up. VIX is up a little bit. Let's look at the S&P 500 ETF. Spider. 65-minute chart here. So this is where we closed on Friday. And we opened up here today, this morning. So we saw pretty significant gap down this morning. And you can see, just looking at this kind of zoomed in screen here, you can already see my midterm moving average acting as that support. You know, late last week, and bears be like, I don't want to deal with this support. I'm going to jump over this fence. And that's kind of what they do, gap it down. And look at that long red bearish candle there, right? And then we got into that island bottom reversal gap area as I was tweeting things out this morning. And we threw that high wave doji candle there. And then second hour kind of pause. And then we finally saw that up move today. It is not a coincidence. It is not a mistake. It is not a random occurrence that when we did see that reversal and intraday action today, it did so at 456 area, which is previously looked at as a island bottom reversal support area. As I zoom out later, you will see it, right? And with that, you can see that first, second, third, fourth hour move, fifth hour, and that sixth hour move. This is very crucial for both bulls and bears. Let me explain why, right? So first of all, the gap that down gap that was opened up this morning, it's not fully filled, but man, like 80% like 85% of that down gap has been filled with that last hour price action. Let me tell you something right here. If this down gap would have been fully open, like you can see that long upper wick shooting star candle there. Instead of seeing this candle right here on the last hour, let's say we saw this right here. Let's say we saw that, the red candle, right? With that shooting star, with that, gap area acting as resistance. Well, things are about to get pretty hectic for the probably entire month of January. Well, with this move right here, and bulls got up and filled the majority of that gap, about 85 or 90% of that gap. What it did was to kill a lot of that downturn momentum that was opened up this morning, right? It would have been better if bulls filled that gap entirely, but they left a little bit there. So with that, unless we see a gap up or follow through continuation tomorrow and fill this gap, entirety of it tomorrow. If bulls fail to fill this gap, because we do have that midterm moving average currently, it was acting as support. Now it's probably going to act as resistance. If we see weakness tomorrow, at least first couple hours, I wouldn't be surprised to see another shenanigan down move. And then bulls need to kind of recoup themselves to kind of bring it back up to, go up and fill that gap. But that gap that remained, there's a little bit of that gap that remaining, that needs to be filled if bulls want to make a way to the upside. Again, it's much better that bulls fill the 80, 95% or 85, 90% of it right? Because if that wasn't filled, things would have been a whole lot worse this week. But with that, I think we got some of the micro-term sentiment kind of, when I say micro-term, I mean just like, what we saw last couple hours, several hours, right? Bullish there. But, and as I zoom out, right? As we can see here, first of all, I've been gone last week or so. And before I left, I talked about this resistance here, right? And with that, bulls tried several times and was not able to get above it, and the tankage came. You can see that my short-term moving average did act as support right here. We lost it, came down, we found support, not a coincidence, not a mistake, not a random occurrence that when it did come down, we slowed down on my midterm moving average, and then we gapped down today. Not a coincidence, not a mistake, not a random mistake, came down and then slowed down right on that gap area. Not to mention, that's the area coinciding with my long-term moving average. It is not a coincidence. It is not a mistake. It is not a random occurrence that when we did see that bullish move to the upside, we stopped right on my midterm moving average. So you can see how when we are able to kind of, decode this price action last couple weeks or so, we can kind of see certain levels. And understanding the certain level is going to help us to gauge and navigate this market better, right? So first of all, let's talk about this. Yes, things were, hectic, right? A lot of up and downs. But, looking at things in the midterm, we have to understand that these are some subtle higher lows, right? And so with that, short term, yes, benefit of the doubt goes to sellers in the short term because of this downturn. We're below my short term moving average. We talked about that. But in the micro term, we got some bullish momentum there. How about in the midterm of things? We want to give benefit of the doubt to the buyers in the midterm because this market is still cultivating these higher lows and higher highs. Obviously, as of today, we can't really say that that's going to be a definitive higher low until we see its own another higher low, another higher high. But just the way how fast we bounced up right on that gap area, long-term moving average, and in the vicinity of higher low, if we do see a follow through, and this follow through might not happen tomorrow or this week, you know what I'm saying? We might come down, maybe a double bottom, go right back up or sideways, and then do a little bit of a flagging pattern. Who knows how this market is going to play out? But if we do see a follow through, I don't know, maybe tomorrow, maybe Wednesday or sometime, there's a good chance this could become that higher low before market decides to kind of retest that resistance level there. Let's check out that oscillator and see if we can extract any more information. So here's an interesting part of this entirety of this thing. Remember what I talked about? I don't know. I know a lot of you guys watch my video, every single video without missing, and I appreciate that. My diehard followers. So you guys probably remember me talking about the oscillator. When the oscillator does not go down all the way to the bottom of its band, where bears fail to push it all the way down. Like bears need to push it down all the way, flex that muscle, right? When bears fail to do that, remember what I said in mid-December, exactly right here. When bears fail to do that, what that means is they're weak. Yes, they are. We did see some of this downturn, but that's given. This market, you're gonna see up and down. So let's not get too ahead of ourselves. How many of you guys always acting like the entire thing is gonna, blow up to nothing on every single couple percentage corrections? Missed out this entire run last couple of years. Let's kind of learn from our mistakes. So when the oscillator is not fully down, it's interesting, despite the fact that we had a big gap down and continuation to the downside, just because we saw the last 3-4 hours of up move, that oscillator actually crossed back up without hitting the bottom of its band. You see what I'm saying? Bulls been doing good job about hitting the top end. Bears are not so much. And with that, you can see there's a subtle overall midterm strength showing in this chart right here. This oscillator right here, desperately seeking continuation to the upside. Desperately. Can we see some sort of whipsawing action like this? Yes. And that's when you see how, we start to go up or come right. This is when you don't see a follow through. You see a 1 day move comes right back down. 1 day move comes right back down. 1 day move comes right back down, right? We see a 1 day move. Biggest question going into tomorrow and this week is, are we going to see a 1 day move and a follow through? And or is it going to be a 1 day move coming right back? Then I'm going to come back for you. We'll reassess the situation. Enjoy your evening. Good luck trading tomorrow.